Okay, I'd like to call to order the regular council meeting of March 10, 2014. Mr. Spagnuolo, please call the roll.
Excuse me. Colella.
Present.
Dixon.
Here.
Givens.
Here.
Hannon.
Present.
Harrison.
Present.
McLean.
Here.
Mowry.
Here.
O'Brien.
Present.
Pape.
Here.
All present.
All members present. This time can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we get to the chair announcements, there's one item been added to the agenda, the appointment to the municipal authority that will be done under general policy and finance. This time I'd like to turn to chair announcements. We had executive session of council was conducted on February 24, 2014 for police personnel matters. And tonight, before we came out, March 10, 2014 for police personnel matters. At this time, I'd like to turn to the reports of the officials and the library director's report.
Good evening. My name is Christine, and I'm the director of Your Public Library, where we provide services to inform, inspire, and enrich the community. I recently just had to complete a report for the state, kind of a state of the library. So I just wanted to share a few items with you. The library circulated 338,000 items last year, which is a slight increase over 2012. And the circulation of our e-resources, which would be our e-books, our e-audio, and our e-video, has doubled. We lent out just over 20,000 items in 2013. And interestingly enough, currently there are 88,000 e-titles. So they could be e-book titles, e-audio titles, or e-video titles that are available for you to check out countywide. And Bethel Park has the 4th highest circulation of those e-resources in Allegheny County. So 46% of Bethel Park residents have an active library card, which means that they've used their library card in the last 2 years, so that's pretty good. I'm happy about that. And our librarians answered just under 40,000 questions, and the trend is we answer fewer like quick answer questions, stuff you can find on Google, but answer more in-depth questions, particularly related to technology. The library has 18 full-time equivalent employees. This is down from 23 that we had 2 years ago. We hosted 947 programs for teens and children, and just under 20,000 people attended those programs. We hosted 1,022 programs for adults, and just over 5,000 people attended those programs. Also, if you've been in the library in the last week or so, you'll see that we are in the process of a renovation in our fireplace room. We had a movable glass wall installed so that we have additional space for programming when we need it. With all these programs, and we're constantly using council chambers and the municipal conference room, so now we have another option. Phase 1 was just completed on Friday afternoon. Now we are having a frosted vinyl stripe installed across the center of that, so while people are in a program, they don't feel like they're on display, like at the zoo. And also, I'm afraid people are going to walk into the wall. It's very seamless, so we don't want any lawsuits. So that should be finished in the next probably week, and then we'll be able to use that for programming space. Some programs of note: it is currently tax season, so we have AARP volunteer tax assistance through Tuesday, April 8th. It's every Tuesday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. It's for seniors and those that are considered low income. The volunteers are able to complete simple returns. If you have very complex returns or offshore accounts, they won't be able to help you. Greg can tell you, people start lining up at like 7:30 in the morning. They do not start doing taxes until 10 o'clock, and we do first come, first serve. So get here early, because usually by 10 o'clock when they start, the appointments are filled up. And once you sign in, you can leave, go have a coffee, go have breakfast, and then come back. But you need to be here to sign in. On Thursday, Thursday, March 13th at 1 o'clock, we have a program on the Affordable Care Act. It's presented by the Pennsylvania Health Access Network, and they'll be here to review the insurance reforms and then to explain some of the choices that you have. And then from 2 p.m. until 8 p.m., certified application counselors will be available in the library to assist with the application process, but you need to make an appointment, so you can call the library. Again, that's Thursday, March 13th at 1 o'clock. And one announcement, the library will be closed on Sunday, March 23rd and Monday, March 24th for computer system software upgrades. This is a countywide upgrade. We're getting a new system to check books out to you. We will open on Tuesday, March 25th at 1 p.m. with this new circulation system. If you want any more information on any of the programs or services that I spoke about, or the many others that are offered, you can visit the library's website at bethelparklibrary.org. And that is my report for this evening.
The manager wanted me to ask if we were taking any precautions for security for the fish.
We have a camera in there because people were stealing not only the fish,
We're
but
very concerned about
our
that.
creamers and our sugar. However, I had a diseased fish in there, so I did lose a few, but we're back in action now.
He drinks his coffee black, so I think.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We turn to the police chief's report. Chief Mackey.
Good evening, everyone. A couple announcements tonight in the form of reminders. The next Crime Watch meeting is on Monday, March 24th at 6:30, and of course that's at the Community Center. The next drug take-back program is Saturday, April 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We have the same two locations as usual, the Community Center and the Highmark Direct Building at 1775 North Highland Road. Once again, if you have any unused, unwanted, expired medications, bring them to one of our drop-off points. It's been a hugely successful program. As a matter of fact, at our last one, we took in over 75 pounds of medications. So it's best to hang on to them, bring them to the drop-off point. Please don't throw them down the sink or the toilet. The Police Pals Pittsburgh Steelers basketball game is Friday, April 4th. I think there's going to be a pre-game between the police and fire department. Okay. I think both teams are having trouble fielding players, but we'll work our way through that. The game starts at 8. The fire department, police department game starts at 6. The Steeler game starts at 8. Tickets are $7. You could get them at EV Hardware, Eaton Park on Route 88, or at the Police Records Room. And all proceeds benefit the Sergeant Charles Bonzak college scholarships. As you know, we have a law enforcement apprenticeship program for our high school kids, and those that go to college to pursue a career in law enforcement, we offer them a $500 scholarship to try to get them off on the right foot. There's quite a few nice raffle prizes this year, so we're going to try to entice some more fans to come out to the game. They're worth mentioning because of not only what the prizes are, but I'd like to announce who donated some of those prizes. There's going to be a 60-inch high-def TV with sound system and Blu-ray, as well as a Steelers grill, which was donated by Millard Hardware. Those tickets are $2, and again, you could get those at EV Hardware or at the Police Records Room. And also, during the game, there's going to be several raffles. There's an iPad donated by Best Buy, Penguins tickets donated by Giant Eagle and Fridays. There's a foursome of golf at South Hills Country Club donated by Dr. Snyder. Legal services, which I hope nobody needs. That was donated by Dan Flynn of the Michael Flynn Associates. Here's another one I hope nobody needs, laser hair removal, donated by Allegheny Physical Medicine. There's autographed memorabilia from the Steelers and Penguins, and numerous gift certificates from Bethel Bakery, DeLallo's, Fridays, Al's Cafe, Olive Garden, Bed Bath & Beyond. So we hope you can come out and enjoy the game. It's always a big hit every year, so come out, see some good basketball, some bad basketball, and hopefully win some great prizes. And that is my report.
Thank you very much, Chief. This time we turn to the Fire Chief's report in Chief Gerber.
Good evening. My name is Dave Gerber. I'm the Fire Chief of the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company. In the month of February, the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company ran 25 calls. As everybody knows, over the weekend we turned our clocks ahead, and everybody hopefully knows that when we turn our clocks back or ahead, that we go ahead and change the batteries in our carbon monoxide detectors and our smoke detectors. It's always a good idea with both of those items. They have a test button on them, is to test them monthly so that you know they're working, even if you did change the batteries. Carbon monoxide detector normally lasts in the area of 5 to 7 years. So I know we go to a lot of homes and houses and stuff and talk to the residents, and normally one of the biggest problems they have is their detectors are old. They're past the 5 to 7 years. And even not, we'll get some that are newer that only last 2 or 3 sometimes, and they still go bad. So 5 to 7 years for a carbon monoxide detector and 7 to 10 years for a smoke detector. One of the things they have come out recently within the last year or so, they do make those detectors now that have a lifelong battery in them. You don't have to change the batteries at all. It's a nice item to go check out one of the hardware stores here in town, one of the stores wherever you buy smoke detectors, and you'll find them. They may cost a little bit more and stuff, but as I said, you don't have to change the batteries in them. They last forever. The good idea is, though, to still, as I said, check them monthly, press the test button and make sure everything works on them so that you know they're working. It's also getting to be that time of year. Hopefully the weather's going to be getting real nice real soon. I know spring's scheduled to arrive here in the next couple of days and stuff. Everybody will be eager to get out into the yard and start cleaning up all the old leaves that were left from fall, things along those lines. I just want to remind everybody that there's no open burning here in Bethel Park or Allegheny County at all. So when you break up all your leaves and all that kind of stuff, you want to get them into a leaf bag or whatever you need. Don't go ahead and burning them in a fire pit. The only kind of fire you can have is a recreational fire, which would be contained in one of those little fire rings that you see. They sell at Home Depot, Lowe's, one of those places, and everything is contained within a small area. We respond to people burning stuff every year that have, a big bonfire in their backyard just because they're trying to get rid of stuff. So try and keep that down to a minimum, and as I said, just get rid of them in the leaf bags and things along those lines. And one last item, we did finally move out of our Brightwood station in our several year-long progression into moving to our new building in the construction of that. We moved last Monday. One of the things I do ask everybody is to be a little bit patient with us. I don't think the phones are working yet. I don't think they've gotten transferred correctly from down there up to here and stuff yet. So if you have trouble getting a hold of us, have patience. You can always go online, send us an email. We'll get back to you as soon as we can with that. But at this point, I don't believe the messages are working down on our main number. So if you can be patient with us and work with us as we're in the process of getting reorganized here for the move that we're going to be for the next 2 years, just bear with us. And with that, that's all I have.
Just to be clear, the number that's in question is when you call the fire department,
Yes.
their actual facility for emergencies, for non-emergencies. For emergencies, do you still call 911, or is it 833-2000 that'll get you if you need a quicker response?
Good point. I didn't make that clear, but yeah, it's the building. If you're calling looking for me to say hi, is
for the winter.
the phone number that's not working. If you have an emergency, it still is, Mr. Mowry said, 833-2000 or 911. So.
Okay, thank you very much, Chief. This time, can we turn to the mayor's report, and Mayor Allen? I'm not used to this, Chief.
Well, you weren't here the last 2 months. Just kidding, Mr. President. I have a couple things to go over tonight. The first thing I want to do is introduce Brandon Colella. Brandon is the new council person in Ward 2, and he took over, I guess, about 3 weeks ago. So I want to introduce him to the public, and I think you had a few things to say.
I do. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Brandon Colella. As the mayor said, I was recently appointed to Ward 2 Council. I would like to thank my fellow council members for the opportunity and the appointment. I greatly appreciate all the help and direction I've received in the past few weeks. It's been very helpful. I have big shoes to fill. I look forward to working with all the departments and department heads. Most important, I look forward to working for and with the residents of Ward 2 and Bethel Park as a whole. My contact information is available on the Bethel Park website. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Good luck.
I understand he received his first resident call a few weeks ago.
That was me.
You always wanted to be on the other end of the phone, right?
Exactly. The second thing I have tonight is a message about the spring cleanup schedule. The municipality of Bethel Park, in conjunction with PennDOT, will once again sponsor the Spring Cleanup Day. This year's event is scheduled for Saturday, April 26th. As in the past, PennDOT will supply the trash bags, the safety vest, and gloves, and the municipality will supply patches for the young participants. This is an opportunity for willing volunteers to help clean the parks and roadways of Bethel Park and spruce up our community for spring. A list of the areas in need of attention for the cleanup will be provided. They need to, any individual or group or community organization wishing to participate should contact Michelle Bainham for details here at the municipal building. Number's 412-831-6800, and her extension is 203. Okay, before I get into what I really wanted to go over, I just wanted to play weatherman for a couple minutes and just let you know how the 2013 and 2014 snow season went, and hopefully, even though it's March 10th, hopefully it's over and these numbers will stay good. The average snowfall in Bethel Park is 41.9 inches so far this year, and last year we've had 58 inches. It's the 9th snowiest winter on record, and the temperatures are 20% below normal. In February, only had one day that it didn't snow. And I also wanted to mention about the sewage plant, which I was informed today, that they had their work cut out for them down there because the temperatures were so low, the water would freeze as it was going into the plant. So they worked on weekends and weeknights just hitting the water or the ice with sticks to make sure it wouldn't freeze so it wouldn't disrupt any of the service. Now what I'm here for, the average year, we usually have 32 truck call-outs in any given winter. And that includes 48 times that the crew salts the roads. This season, we've had 47 truck call-outs, 73 times that they've treated the roads. Normally, we use 8,300 tons of salt. This season, 13,000 tons of salt and 1,500 tons of sand. So we got here pretty good. What I like to do now, and Jerry Duke's in charge, obviously, Susie Dolinar and Jim Atkins, but I want to recognize the people that you see in those orange trucks working weekends, holidays, weeknights, and if they can come up front, just so the people in Bethel Park you get a look at who their person is. Okay, we have Bob Atkins, Greg Miller, Ron Berlecki, Jeff Lorenzato, Joe Forte, Doug Hudson, and Dan Clausen. These are the guys that take care of your roads through the winter. They probably didn't have as much gray hair, but they worked a lot. And I did want to recognize two of the people, Doug Hudson and Dan Clausen, for not missing one call out the whole winter. They were there every time they needed. And there were actually two others that aren't here tonight that didn't miss their 47 call outs. and that's Kevin Schweitzer and Brian Whelan. So on behalf of Bethel Park, we certainly appreciate everything that you've done. And for the month of March, you're the ones that make Bethel Park a better place to live. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. 100%. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
And that's my report, Mr. President.
I would like to note for the record, when Mayor Morton was here, we didn't have this much snow.
Well, actually, it was divided in half this year. We did have 2013.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor Allen. Mr. Duke.
I do want to thank the men and women of our public works. When I took this job, they said you measure number of years. Well, I didn't know it was measured number of snow seasons. So this is being my second one, and I think we should add an extra one because this one was extremely hard and extremely difficult. First of all, thanking council because learning this job, thank you for providing the equipment that we need to fight the snow. We do have some of the best equipment, I believe, in the South Hills. Our equipment is newer than a lot of other communities. It's kept in great shape by our staff and by the Public Works, and again, I'd like to thank you for that. But the gentlemen and the women behind the orange trucks are the ones who kind of keep it going and do the work, and I can't say how much that they've done for us and for our community. So thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Murray,
Mr. Harrison.
we may remind people that if you believe the weather prognosticators, it's not over yet. They're talking about snow on Wednesday evening and night. Is that the report you get, Jerry? Snow on Wednesday evening and night. I just want to remind people it ain't necessarily over yet.
Yeah, I think the grandma said, 6 more weeks?
It's not over till it's over.
Always a naysayer in the crowd.
If I may,
Wishful thinking. Mr. Spack.
and one more thing I'd like to add, and congratulations to everybody here, and I think the mayor did a wonderful job doing this, because every year our crew does a great job on the roads. I mean, I think it was last year, Bethel Park was recognized by the Post-Gazette as having the best roads in the South Hills, if not Allegheny County. And also, the men who do the snow removal do a great job. But also, like as Jerry said, our supervisors are out there all the time. They're behind the scenes, making sure everything gets done. And one more thing I like to say is Jerry Duke, our Director of Community Services. He comes out for every snow as well. He's out there working with Susan Dolinar and Jimmy Atkins and the men of our crews who get the roads done to make sure the roads are done and the traveling is safe for our residents. So thank everyone here, and also Jerry, thank you too for a job well done.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, the approval of the minutes, and Mr. Hannon.
Okay, the first item is the regular meeting of the minutes of February 10th, 2014. I move that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of February 10th, 2014.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of February 10th, 2014. Any discussion on this item? Wagner, would you please call the roll?
Dixon?
Yes.
Gibbons?
Yes.
Hannon?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
McLean?
Yes.
Mowry?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Pape?
Yes.
Colella?
I will be abstaining.
Motion
8-0.
passes 8-0 with one abstention. Turn to approval of the bills and payrolls, and Mr. Hannon.
Move that we approve the bills and payrolls from municipality per bill list number 031014 in the amount of $1,225,419.75.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 031014 in the amount of $1,225,419.75. Any discussion of that at this item? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
Gibbons?
Yes.
Hannon?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
McLean?
Yes.
Mowry?
Yes.
O'Brien?
Yes.
Pape?
Yes.
Colella?
Yes.
Dixon?
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. This time I'd like to turn to the resident comments section for non-agenda items. If you'd like to come up to the microphone and state your name and address, we do have a 3-minute limit. At the end of 2 minutes, you'll be signified by the manager and asked to.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and staff. I am Chuck Schmealer. I'm the property owner of the apartment building located at 5388 and 5398 Main Street here in Bethel Park. As such, I also represent the 22 families that are living there that are your neighbors. I come before you to ask your help in solving a health and safety problem associated with the municipality's alleyway that is located directly behind our building. For some years now, the municipality has been performing little or no maintenance on the alley. From time to time, this has become an issue for your neighbors living at our building because the trash dumpsters are located behind the building along the alleyway. To the best of our knowledge and belief, the dumpsters have been in that location since the building was constructed several decades ago. During periods of winter weather, our refuse hauler, Waste Management, has repeatedly been unable to access that area due to the condition of the unkept alley. We received a number of notices from Waste Management regarding the unsafe conditions that prevents them from picking up the trash. This all came to a head in September of last year when we were cited by Mr. Todd Carter for, quote, an unmaintained and dilapidated drive aisle located at the rear of said property. This led us to refer the matter to our House Counsel, Ms. Kathy Troiani. As to the best of our knowledge and belief, the alley did not and does not belong to us. Ms. Troiani and our staff had a number of conversations and emails with municipality staff, including Messrs. Carter and Sarver, over the next several months. Ms. Troiani asked Mr. Sarver to clarify the municipality's position in writing on several occasions. To date, we've received nothing in writing. Our communications with Bethel Park over the last several months indicate to us that, one, Bethel Park has acknowledged the alleyway does not belong to us. Bethel Park will not maintain the alley as it was allegedly, quote, adopted for Red Dog maintenance only, and Red Dog is no longer allowed to be used. And number three, we have been told it's not permissible to relocate the trash dumpsters to the side or front of our building without a variance, which would most likely not be granted. As you can see, this leads to a catch-22 situation. Bethel Park will not maintain the alleyway, and Bethel Park will not allow us to move the dumpsters to an area on the sides or the front of the building. I therefore asked Ms. Troiani to write to the solicitor to voice our concerns. That letter was mailed January 16th, 2014. To date, we've not had the courtesy of a reply. Ms. Troiani placed a phone call to Mr. McTiernan on the 5th of February, leaving a detailed message on his voicemail. Again, to date, we've not had the courtesy of a reply. Folks, I submit that this is no way to treat your neighbors. Reasonable people of goodwill can work together to solve problems such as these. I'm asking one final time that Bethel Park take written responsibility for the alleyway and that Bethel Park enter into a constructive dialogue with us to work out a solution for maintenance of the alleyway and access to our dumpsters. In the alternative, we will regrettably have no choice but to seek relief in the courts, which we are prepared to do. Thank you for your time. I'll answer any questions if there are any.
Okay, hearing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any other residents who would like to comment? Hearing none, I'd like to turn to General Policy and Finance and Mr. McLean.
Thank you, Mr. President. First item on the agenda under General Policy and Finance is an appointment to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Mr. Maury,
Mr. Harrison.
a point of order. Is this the time that we are to announce that there's an additional item?
I announced at the beginning of the meeting, Mr. Harrison.
Did you?
Yes.
I'm going to have to turn up my hearing aids. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Mr. McLean.
No problem. First item is the appointment of a member of the Planning and Zoning Commission. I move we appoint Kirk L. Thompson to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term to expire on December 31st, 2017.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we appoint Kirk L. Thompson to the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term to expire on December 31st, 2017. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagnuolo, would you please call the roll?
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Maury.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Pape.
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. Hannon.
Mr. McLean.
Oh, Mr. McLean.
That's
I
all
get
right.
that wrong all the time.
Second item is an appointment to the Zoning Hearing Board for second alternate. I move that we appoint Shane E. Hollerich to the Zoning Hearing Board second alternate for a term to expire on December 31, 2015.
Second?
There's a motion and a second that we appoint Shane E. Holleridge to the Zoning Hearing Board, second alternate, for a term to expire December 31st, 2015. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Pape,
Yes.
Colella,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Givens,
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
9-0.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. McLean.
Last item is appointment to the Municipal Authority. I move we appoint Dan Chebarenchik to the Municipal Authority for a term to expire on December 31, 2018.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. We appoint Dan Chebarenchak to the Municipal Authority for a term to expire December 31st, 2018. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagno, would you please call the roll?
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Pape,
Yes.
Colella,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Givens,
Yes.
Hannon,
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. McLean.
No other agenda items under General Policy and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. McLean. Are there any additional items?
Mr. Morris,
Mr. Harrison.
I have two items I'd like to inform the public on. Number one is, for some 8 years now, I've been working on getting the prevailing wage legislation in Pennsylvania modified. Excuse me. The Representative Marr has been very cooperative in past years. Twice he's introduced legislation. Just quickly, I won't go into detail, but the prevailing wage legislation was signed by Governor Lawrence in 1961, and it says if a project that a body like Bethel Park municipality want to do, if it was valued at $25,000 or more, it required what's called the prevailing wage determination. The result of that basically is the cost of the project's greater because the determination tends to be paying union wages versus paying the wages that a lot of these projects are done by what I call the mom and pop type organizations that are not union. In January, I indicated from this seat that I, once again, am going to work on this project and indicated, as I did now, that Representative Marr had been helpful. The day after the January meeting, I sent an email to Representative Marr letting him know I spoke to it and asking him to inform me of the status. At the February meeting, I told, for the record, that I had not heard from Representative Marr. At the March meeting, I'm going to tell you I have not heard from Representative Marr. And the reason I'm mentioning that is that I know the public's not really familiar with prevailing wage, but it does cost the municipality more money to do the projects we have to do in behalf of the public. So if they think at least Representative Marr ought to communicate with me, maybe they can give us office a call. The second thing I wanted to talk about, and it's probably even more obscure, is a so-called card check. Now, what card check is that if a union wants to organize a group of people, they have to determine the size of the group, and then they have to get a card signed by 50% plus one of that group to require a vote to determine if that group wants a union. I can tell you that personally, I've gone through 3 attempts for unions to organize a group where they got the cards, the number of cards, but yet in the secret vote, the people that were in the unit voted down. The problem is that when the union wants the cards to be signed, they intimidate people, they threaten people, they harass people, they call the families, and like I say, I've been through it. And one of the reasons I wanted to discuss it tonight is that if you're paying attention to the news, a union tried to organize the VW plant down in Tennessee, and they got the number of signatures they needed, but yet when the secret vote came, the union did not win, they lost. And in the card check situation, if they get 50% plus one of the people in the unit, then there's no vote. Well, I just think that's contrary to our form of government. So I just wanted to inform people that that's another item that I'm going to keep posted on. And unfortunately, our national representative of Congress, Murphy, supports card check. And I called his office to let him know that I'm going to be discussing it, but I haven't heard from him. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any additional items?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. O'Brien.
just to let people know, I am a card-carrying union member, and no one's ever threatened me or coerced me. It's provided a great living for me with benefits, vacation, and overtime. Mr. Chairman, I have one item, and it's for the people of Bethel Park. We all went through the reassessments, and we all had our time to appeal our taxes for 2013. It's been brought to my attention that you have another bite at the apple. You won't get your money back for 2013, but you have the right to file an appeal for 2014 for your property assessment. If you have something new, you have a different idea, it's the same process, the same website, and the deadline is March 31st, 2014. So if you didn't think you had your due in court the last time, you get another chance if you choose to this time. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we turn to planning and zoning and Mr. Dixon, and we have no residents signed up to speak.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
We have several items on the planning and zoning agenda this evening. First item is an ordinance for the rezoning of property located at 5150 Library Road. I move that we adopt the ordinance transferring certain properties from zoning classification R3, which is one family residential district, to C2, which is general commercial district, zoning classification. Said properties being located at 5150 Library Road, which is Route 88.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We approve the ordinance transferring certain properties from zoning classification R3, one family residential district, to C2, general commercial district, zoning classification. Said property being located at 5150 Library Road, State Route 88. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagnuolo, would you please call the roll?
Mowry.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Pape.
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
9-0.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. Dixon.
Second item is a resolution for Jefferson Regional Medical Center, Bethel Park, expansion 1000 Higbee Drive. I move that we adopt the resolution for Jefferson Regional Medical Center expansion 1000 Higbee Drive, sewage facilities planning module resolution.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We adopt a resolution for the Jefferson Regional Medical Center expansion, 1000 Higbee Drive, sewage facilities planning module resolution. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagnuolo, would you please call the roll?
O'Brien.
Yes.
Pape.
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Mowry.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. Dixon.
Next item, 2014 Bethel Park Agreement of Sale to Cool Springs Associates LP. I move that we approve the 2014 Bethel Park Agreement of Sale to Cool Springs Associates LP, block and lot number 317M150.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We approve the 2014 Bethel Park Agreement of Sale to Cool Springs Associates LP, block and lot number 317-M-150. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagnuolo, would you please call the roll?
Pape.
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannon.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Mowry.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. Dixon.
Next item is a resolution, Park Avenue Athletic Field Improvements. I move that we adopt the resolution for requesting an RAAC grant for the Park Avenue Athletic Field Improvements.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we adopt a resolution for requesting an RAAC grant for Park Avenue athletic field improvements. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Colella,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Gibbons,
Yes.
Hannon,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Maury.
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Pape.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. Dixon.
And finally, one more resolution. We are certainly a resolute body here tonight. Easement, Millennium Park for Pennsylvania American Water Company. I move that we adopt a resolution for Pennsylvania American Water Company requesting an easement in Millennium Park.
Second.
There's a motion and second that we adopt a resolution for Pennsylvania American Water Company requesting an easement in Millennium Park. Just for the record, that's a small area along Baptist Road on both sides of the newly erected bridge. Mr. Spagnol, any other discussion?
Mr. Murray.
Mr. Harrison.
I'd like to ask if there's what are the restrictions on the use of our property there? I know it's right on the edge, as Mr. Murray indicated. Is that in any sense going to keep us from developing that property? I know we've been talking about some developments in that area.
No, it will not be. It's right adjacent to the bridge.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Spagnol, please call the roll.
Dixon,
Yes.
Gibbons,
Yes.
Hannon,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Pape,
Yes.
Colella.
Yes.
9-0.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. Dixon.
Mr. President, that is all I have under planning and zoning this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Are there any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to health, safety, and welfare? And Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Under Health, Safety, and Welfare tonight, we have one item, a resolution. I move that we adopt a resolution for the disposition of public safety records in accordance with the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Society regulations.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we adopt a resolution for the disposition of public safety records in accordance with the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Society regulations. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Gibbons,
Yes.
Hannon,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Pape, Colella,
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
9-0.
Motion passes 9-0. Mr. O'Brien.
Mr. Chairman, there are no more items under Health, Safety, and Welfare.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Public Works and Maintenance and Ms. Gibbons?
I have one item, the 2014 road program. I move that we award the 2014 road program contract to Morgan Excavating in the amount of $1,424,570.60 in accordance with the municipal engineer's correspondence dated February 20th, 2014.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. We award the 2014 road program contract to Morgan Excavating in the amount of $1,424,570.60 in accordance with the municipal engineer's correspondence dated February 20th, 2014. I'd like to thank Jean Statler for all her work in putting all this together. And this is a bit more than what we normally spend in an average year, but with the weather, the winter we've had, it's much needed. Is there any other discussion?
I have a comment.
Mr. Dixon.
I just wanted to make a comment here that we welcomed our brave warrior home, my family. My son Barry was discharged from the United States Army last week, and so I just wanted to say welcome home. And if you think I'm happy, you should see the smile on his mother's face.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Mr. Spagna, would you please call the roll?
Hannon,
Yes.
Harrison,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
O'Brien,
Yes.
Pape,
Yes.
Colella,
Yes.
Dixon,
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Motion passes 9-0. Ms. Gibbons.
There are no more items on the agenda, but I do have one additional item.
Ms. Gibbons.
We wanted to let the residents know that we're very aware of how dirty the streets are right now after our long and cold winter. And we are in the process of taking care of that problem as far as street sweeping, and we will be voting on that next month.
Thank you, Ms. Gibbons. Any other discussion from council? Can we have a motion to
Move we adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone.